Hello! Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a video reviewing the Xbox One controller and the PlayStation 4 controller, and which one is better, which one you should buy. I mean, obviously, if you only have a PlayStation and you don't have an Xbox, you should buy this. If you only have an Xbox and not a PlayStation, you should probably buy this. But I'm talking about it more in the sense of, let's say you're getting into PC gaming and you like using controllers more. So, first of all, let's get into the shoulder buttons. So I'm just going through categories real quick. So shoulder buttons, you probably can't read this very easily because it's very small, and on top of that, my handwriting is awful. So the first category is shoulder buttons. So on the Xbox One, the shoulder buttons have very little travel, and they're extremely clicky. Like, just listen to this. So yeah, and they're very easy to hit. Like, it's basically designed so that when you have your finger here on the trigger, you can not only push up against the bumper like that, but you can roll your finger up while you're pushing down the trigger like that. And I don't know if you can hear the click or not, but that I'm definitely hitting the button, I can tell you that. So that is very nice, especially when you're trying to play a game like Halo, which I know is not on PlayStation, but in Halo oftentimes or more intense shooters and stuff, it's really great to be able to do whatever you're doing here, hold down, side fire, and then very easily be able to swap to an ability or a grenade or something like that, or maybe a melee. So on PlayStation though, not only, like on here, the triggers and bumpers are touching. Here, they went out of their way to make a line of plastic in between them, which I don't know why. But one thing I love about these bumpers is that, I don't know what it is, they're just so satisfying. Oh, this is a joystick extension, that should not be there. Sorry for that. The buttons, they're just so, they're not like super mushy, they're tactile enough, and they definitely get the job done. They're nice. One of the problems is that when you do this is not nearly quite as easy or fast. And it's definitely not as easy to do when you're holding when you want to keep holding down the trigger the whole time when you're going to do that. Because like I can't physically keep the trigger pulled down all the way while I'm going to do that, unless I like want to move like my whole hand up like that, which is you shouldn't have to do. So I would definitely give Xbox One the win in this category. Also want to let you know that I'm a big Xbox fanboy. Okay, I had an Xbox 360 when that was the thing. I have an Xbox One right now. I just got a PS4 very, very recently, mainly so I could get a PSVR headset later on. So the Xbox One triggers they're amazing. They're incredible. So they're rounded, as you can see, so that way your fingers fit more nicely on them, and they have very long trigger pulls. Although, when you have pro controllers or other mods and stuff, you can shorten the trigger pulls, obviously. The one thing I like about these is that they have rumble packs within the triggers units themselves. So in mostly only first party games, but including like Forza and Halo. But in those games, you can feel like the vibrations coming more from one side of the trigger than the other. It's super cool. Yeah. They're definitely analog. They do a really great job in racing games. I mean, not really much else to be said. PlayStation side of things, however, these things. What is this? Because as you can clearly see, this is curved. This entire unit is curved inwards and it's smooth and everything. This is just like, you know what? You kind of have a little like platform to push down on. You know what? They get the job done. They're not bad. I would like it if the trigger pull was a little bit longer. It might just be that out here it's longer, but in here it's shorter. If that makes sense, where you see I'm putting my finger, because it seems to have like a similar like angle of rotation. These things are very loud when you hit them back. On Xbox, they have some cushions back there, so it sounds like this. One thing I noticed though is that the PlayStation triggers also have much more tension behind them. The springs are a lot stronger. Obviously they're matte, not shiny on the edges, or textured. They're not rounded or anything, but they definitely work. But again, I definitely have to give this category to Xbox One. Alright then. Now to the face buttons. When I mean face buttons, I mean A, B, X, Y, and circle, square, triangle, X. I'm sorry. A, B, X, Y is the way to is the order to pronounce face buttons on an Xbox or Nintendo controller. I don't do PS4. So let's do PS4 this time to change it up. So on PlayStation 4, they're not very shiny. They're matte. They're a tiny bit rounded, but they're mostly flat, and they require a little bit of force push down. As you can see, they don't make that much noise. They're not necessarily mushy, but they're not the most mechanical feeling buttons I've ever pressed. So, but then back on the Xbox side, you can see that these buttons are very shiny, very curved. Like these are almost like spherical tops. I guess you can't really see it, but trust me on that. And listen to how loud these things are. These things require, I would probably say, they definitely require less force to push down than the PlayStation 4 controller. But they are very loud and clicky, and very confirming. And when you're playing an intense video game, it totally works to just press down the button very hard while you're doing something. But with this, you can continue to press down and bam, it's activated. You know what I mean? It's very nice. It's like having a mechanical keyboard as opposed to a membrane keyboard. So I personally think Xbox One will win this category. But a lot of people prefer the more silent, more button-feeling buttons. Because, these are buttons, but they almost feel like mechanical switches. They don't really feel like natural, smush and membrane buttons like a lot of people much prefer. So, in my books, I'm going to give the Xbox One a win. But that is something to think about. That was disgusting. Check mark. Now to the D-pad. Let's do Xbox One first this time. So the D-pad in the Xbox One is just a simple shiny cross. It is very clicky. It definitely works. I think this D-pad is better suited for intense shooters and stuff, or games with 3 games with a lot of different buttons. This is an awful D-pad. It is not fun to use at all when you're trying to play a game that you move around with the D-pad. But when I'm playing something like Fortnite or Minecraft and I have to drop an item in Minecraft, I just go bam, or just bam. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible to misclick on this very clicky D-pad. But yeah, I mean it gets the job done. PlayStation 4 on the other hand, this D-pad is amazing. It is amazing. It's one of the best D-pads I've ever used. So it's definitely a lot mushier than the Xbox One's D-pad, but that's fine. See, it's not shiny. It has a little cross in the middle, and one thing you'll see is that the entire thing moves when you press down one of them. It's kind of hard to show here, just like that. And you definitely really feel it in your hand, and it feels really good to use. Well, on Xbox, on the other hand, you just kind of pushing down a button. There's not much going on. So I definitely have to give PlayStation 4 the win in this category. So for the joysticks, obviously, Xbox One has offset joysticks, one at the bottom, one at the top. PlayStation has parallel joysticks, both at the bottom. I prefer the offset joysticks, but that's because I've literally grown up my entire childhood with offset joysticks. So that's neither worse nor better. A lot of people prefer parallel joysticks, so if you prefer one or the other, that's good for you to know. But that's all. I can't say it's better or worse because of that. So the PlayStation 4 joysticks are pretty high resistance. I mean, they require a lot more force than the Xbox One joysticks. which is not always a bad thing because this can help you aim more precisely and accurately in certain like shooter games and stuff like that. So that's definitely can be a good thing. One thing I have a very, very big problem with though, that I simply cannot forgive. So you already saw that I was using this little rubber cap thing on my controller already, like just like that. You already saw it on there. So clearly I do use that because when the joysticks are at the bottom of the controller, you're supposed to put your thumbs on top of them instead of behind them, instead of pushing on them behind. Which, honestly, for aiming, you definitely want to have your finger on top for more precision. When you're just walking forwards, it's just so much easier to just push it like that and just hold it there while you're doing the rest of your stuff. With this, I feel like if you want to do it properly, you have to go like this, which is like not good. Again, you can't always just go like that, but the joysticks aren't designed for you to push on them like that, and they're not very comfortable. Another thing is that during intense gameplay, my fingers tend to slip off these joysticks quite a bit. And not enough that it will be a complaint I have, but it's way worse than the Xbox Ones. Because not only do these have a much higher tension, if you look at the lip, you can tell that this is a convex inside of the joystick head. So it's like a dome. Then the outside it goes down, then it comes back up as a curve. And yeah, that's definitely a lip, but the thing is, it works like this. Never mind, I thought I might be able to do a good demonstration with my hands. I really can't. But since it's all rounded and smooth, it doesn't work very well. Over on the Xbox, on the other hand, these have the lip on the inside of the joystick is going from being a smooth inside to all of a sudden straight up. Like it's like literally a 90-degree angle like this, and nothing's really gonna slip past that. So I can like really go to town on these things, and my fingers are not gonna slip off very easily. So that is great. I love these joysticks. Another thing you may have noticed if you ever owned one of these is that the inside diameter of the right joystick is actually smaller than the inside diameter of the left joystick. You might be able to feel it normally, but trust me, when you flip the controller around like this just to feel it, you're like, whoa, like that is, how did I not notice that before? It's kind of weird. Another thing that's amazing about the controller, about the joysticks, is that they have micro-texturing on the edges. Just, if you can see it, get the camera to focus on it, which I can't. Whatever, but I'm sorry. So there are basically a bunch of tiny little rubber dots all the way across this thing, which make it nearly impossible for your fingers to just completely slip off. Like, it's really helpful. This is probably the best joysticks I've ever used in my life. So joysticks, I definitely have to give to Xbox One. So, we're going to extra abilities and features. So, they actually both have Bluetooth. You can connect both of them with Bluetooth. With the PS4 controller, you hold down the PlayStation button and the share button for 3 seconds until this blinks blue like 3 times or so, whatever, and that shows that you're ready to connect to Bluetooth. It doesn't do the normal on, off, It goes on, kind of strange, but it is helpful to show that you're connecting to it. With Xbox One, you simply have to hold down the Xbox button along the sync button for a moment or two, and then if you're holding down the sync button on an Xbox One, then you can sync the controllers together, or you can go into your Bluetooth on your phone, tablet, or computer, then select Xbox One controller and connect, which is also very easy to do. So Xbox One controllers take 2 AA batteries. PlayStation 4 has an internal rechargeable battery. Completely superior. I always thought, using AA is not really that big of a deal. It's not that much worse. Until I got a PlayStation 4. And oh my god, this is so much better. Like, it's so much more convenient. Like, seriously. So, that is a big boost for the PlayStation. So, one feature that the PlayStation controller has. It has a touchpad, which is it's basically a touch screen, but instead of it doesn't actually have a screen. It's kind of like it's basically a small trackpad. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. It's like a small trackpad on the controller. It can also be pushed down as a button. So yeah, I mean it's nothing insane, but this could be very useful. But no, there are very few games that actually take use of this touch bar. So it's not really that useful. It's not that good of a feature if it's not being made use of. Now, with the Xbox One controller, this controller right here works for the Xbox One. But guess what else it will work for? Well, in 2020, Christmas 2020, when Project Scarlet is released, which is going to be like the PlayStation 5 Xbox equivalent, this will work on that Xbox. You won't have to buy a bunch of new controllers. I already have like 5 Xbox One controllers. I won't have to buy a single new controller for my system, which is so awesome. It's so much more convenient. So one thing I would say is that if you want to buy a console next generation and you're just laying low on like a crappy PC for a while, like on a laptop, you're just playing some games using a controller, you want to get a controller to play those games on, I would definitely recommend you get an Xbox One controller, so that way you can use that controller on your console, so that way when you buy a console, you have 2 controllers instead of just 1, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. So I think for additional features, while the future compatibility with the next generation Xbox would be super awesome, that's not really useful to everyone, and an internal battery is just gives the win. The PlayStation 4 definitely wins in that category. So again, as you can see, it is not exactly even. There are 4 on Xbox and 2 for PS4. So yeah, again, like I said, I'm an Xbox fanboy, but this is what I personally believe. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you have a good day.